Today we're doing a comparison of two of Canon's most popular DSLRs. Certainly if you've got a shitload of money, these two DSLRs are the shizzle. But which one should you buy? Oh yes, these are the two Canon DSLRs that Canon brand fanboys salivate over and can reasonably afford without breaking the bank or threatening to break the bank manager's face with a baseball bat if they don't put all the cash from the vault in your sack. The two are separated in price by over $1,000, the 7D Mark II coming in at under $2K and the 5D Mark III around $3K, but more price doesn't necessarily mean more stuff. Why aren't they the shizzle? Because they're very solidly built pro level cameras. Plenty of weather sealing, although the 7D Mark II has got more weather sealing now. It's got the same level weather sealing as the 1DX apparently, which is nice. In a nutshell, the 7D II is theoretically the tougher body. Well, has anyone ever proven or tested this yet? Would you ever wittingly cause damage to your camera to try and find out? And in terms of your basic body features, before the 7D only had one CF card slot, but now they've added an SD card slot, just the same as the 5D Mark III. And in terms of button placement, everything's in the same place. Of course there are some subtle differences. You've got this little knob dialy thing here, squeaky. But I have to say, it may be subtle, but that is a brilliant new addition. I'll show you later. And another thing that the 7D Mark II has that the 5D Mark III doesn't have is that. Bang! Oh, how very pro-like. Might as well get the boring stuff out of the way. Interesting difference, rubber flap difference. Although now you've got the headphone and the mic socket on this side. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because if you want to have your monitor headphones and the mic input, which is when you're taking video, you only need to open one flap.
Exactly what bugged me every time.
Yeah.
Look at that.
The flaps open like some kind of pornographic picture. The legs are up in the air. And the 7D Mark II has GPS inside. Good, because nobody actually cares about that anyway. Wi-Fi, both of them don't have it. And no Nespresso inside either, NFC. So, no, Canon's not like that. It's not Sony. They don't put lots of features in it. If you want a Sony, get a Sony. There are some obvious differences between the 5D Mark III and the 7D Mark II though. One is a full frame, one is crop. One is a speed demon, one not so much. But what does it mean in practice? Well, for this, I need to get changed for our shoot. Come to Cycling and quite often you'll see people dressed up kind of similar to this, taking photos of birds. Oh, the camouflage is supposed to be like a Harry Potter invisibility cloak to birds, because birds will never be able to spot a man dressed up in camo in an environment like this. As they say, when in Rome, Rome. To dress the part though. My brother, he's well camouflaged for the tropical birds photography. Okay, let's get myself a lens. Okay. Oh, bad boy. Probably not my number one choice, but it will do. It's a Sigma. Woof. You know what? I mean, this is serious phallic compensation. Extends. Oh, you know, that's still not big enough. Let's. Oh yes. Oh. Now with the 5D Mark III, you've got 22 megapixels full frame, 20 megapixels for the 7D Mark II.
course, the 70 Mark II is newer. It's got a newer processor, the Digic 6, which sounds good. Right, let's pick the perfect spot for bird photography.
We've also spoken to some bird photographers who recommend us some prime spots for taking photos.
I'm over here, by the way, just in case you didn't notice. I'm here, by the way. You know what? I think maybe it's the gear. It's not camouflage, is it? Let's get this camoed up as well. Come on, baby. Does it still extend? Oh no! Oh no, I should... You know, it works in the opposite way to some other stuff. You should have it not extended when you... And the final, the cherry on the cake. Whoa! Big boy. Careful, you don't want to scratch my end. Circumcise my end. Okay. Wow. He's got 2 watches on. Oh shit. Just like stop it. Dual time.
Worryingly, there was no one else out there taking bird photos. A bad sign?
Shit. Where are the birds? Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? But with the 70 Mark II, you've got 65 autofocus points, but all of them are cross type, all of them. And the one in the middle is a double cross. So not only is this improved over the 7D, it's much better than the one in the 5D Mark III. 5D Mark III is not bad in terms of autofocus, it's pretty good actually. How many autofocus points? You've got 61. 45 of them cross type. Of course, now I've switched to this, it's full frame. When I've got this lens on the 70 Mark II, it's a 1.6 times crop. There's no crop on this, no croppage. You can, however, add one of these puppies on. Now this lens is not a fast lens. At its longest end, it's a f6.3. And then add a teleconverter on top of that, and it slows down the maximum aperture of this lens to f8. And for it to focus properly, you need the latest firmware on the 5D Mark III.
Anyway, the bird action clearly isn't happening here, so we have to move to another spot.
I've been told this is the perfect spot, apart from that one. Oh, look at that, that's just there. Yes, come here.
The specs are in favour of the 72 when it comes to sheer speed, but in practice, what does it mean?
Oh yes!
It sort of doesn't matter that I don't have an uber expensive lens on. The 72 focuses assuredly and swiftly, coupled out with a 10 FPS burst, it's immense.
Oh! I think I've just released one of my pants. The point I was making earlier about the little flicky switch here, it's brilliant for changing focus on the fly. And when it does kind of lose focus of the subject, I mean this is really quick to get things back on track.
Going from the 72 to the 5D3, suddenly things feel a lot more pedestrian.
Excuse me? 6 FPS. Compare that to 10. And that shutter sound is ridiculous. It's just too far away.
6 FPS is not bad by any means, but it feels like a vast difference. And the AF is simply not up to scratch to focus with this lens, and I'm not using the adapter. There are quite a number of shots where it just wouldn't pull into focus. There isn't a huge difference in dynamic range at low ISOs. The 70 Mark II has shown significant improvement over the original 7D when it comes to pulling out details in the shadows. Make no mistake, the 5D3 is still no slouch. It can focus well.
Let's pick his nose. Right, 5D Mark III. Autofocus is good enough for picking out people We were picking out stuff from the nose. And of course, when you're using full frame, your 50 is your 50, your 35 is your 35. I could do with a 50mm right now. It's bloody heavy.
The high ISO performance of the 5D3 visibly has a slight edge from ISO 6400 upwards compared to the 7D2, but things still look pretty decent up to ISO 12800 for the 7D2. Good stuff. The 7D2 has leveled things up. The image quality is there, the body features are there, and in some areas excels to a far higher level, the AF system and the speed, than the 5D Mark III. It might seem like it makes the decision of which camera you buy more difficult, but in fact it makes it far simpler. You don't have to worry that you're getting an inferior bit of tech. It really just comes down to this. If the kind of photography you're into requires speed, you need the 7D Mark II. If you don't need the speed, and you want the benefits of full frame goodness, the 5D Mark III is really what you should get.